Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're cutting through a lot of the noise to bring you a really critical look at the future of the global digital economy.
We are.
We're diving into this high-stakes balancing act. How do you capture a massive multi-billion-dollar economic opportunity in AI while, managing these profound societal risks at the same time?
Exactly. And the country we're focusing on today, India, is trying to do more than just adopt AI. They're aiming to lead the revolution, especially in what's called vertical AI, these highly specialized systems.
Okay. So our mission for this deep dive is to really analyze how this massive diverse economy is planning to hit its goals with a framework that puts safety and inclusion first.
That's right. And for that, we have two key sources we're digging into.
Right. First up, we've got the official government framework documents. These were developed by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, or METI, and published back in July 2025. This is the blueprint.
And then we have the reality check, the hard numbers, the ground truth from the NASSCOM AI Adoption Index. This tells us what's actually happening inside Indian companies.
Okay, let's unpack this. And let's start with the scale of the prize because, the numbers are just staggering.
They really are.
India's goal is to harness AI's potential for, inclusive development and to be a global competitor. They're aiming for a potential value add of what, 450 to $500 billion to their GDP by 2025.
$500 billion. It's a huge number, and it all rests on getting this safe, trusted, and specialized AI ecosystem right.
You can't manage something that big with just a set of rules. You need a philosophy,
We
right?
do. And India's approach is guided by these 7 core principles, what they're actually calling sutras.
Sutras.
Yeah. And they're designed to be technology agnostic, so it doesn't matter if you're building a massive language model or a tiny predictive system for a factory floor.
7 sutras. That sounds very foundational, very thoughtful. Can you walk us through the big ones?
Absolutely. Beyond the ones you'd expect, like innovation over restraint, fairness, accountability. The two that really stand out, the foundational ones, are trust and people first.
Okay.
For trust, they're saying it has to be embedded across the entire value chain, in the data, the organizations building the models, their institutions watching over them, and the people using them. It's the essential currency.
Trust as currency. That's a great way to put it. It implies that if you violate that trust, the whole $500 billion opportunity is at risk.
Precisely. And that second one, people first, is so critical in India's context. It means AI systems have to empower people, and this is the key part, they have to reflect local value systems.
Ah, okay. So it can't just be an American or European AI model with a different language pack.
Not at all. In a country with huge linguistic and cultural diversity, it has to respect local norms and, wherever possible, ensure a human has oversight, the final say.
That makes a ton of sense. With over 700 spoken languages and these vastly different realities on the ground, a one-size-fits-all AI is just going to lead to exclusion. It would violate that whole people-first idea.
It would.
So before we get to the infrastructure, does this philosophy translate into some big new AI law, like what we've seen happen in the EU?
And this is where their approach gets really pragmatic and interesting. The sources are very clear on this. At this stage, a separate standalone law to regulate AI is considered not needed.
Not needed. Wow. That is a very different position from almost everyone else globally. Why not a new law?
Because the thinking is that a lot of the immediate risks, things like data privacy breaches or consumer harm from an algorithm or even deep fakes, can be handled pretty effectively by just enforcing the laws they already have.
Oh, interesting. So like the IT Act, the Consumer Protection Act.
And the big one, the new DPDP Act for data protection. They're saying the tools are there, they just need timely and consistent enforcement.
So the key isn't creating new rules, it's using technology to make the old rules stronger. That's the techno-legal part, isn't it?
Yes, and this concept is fascinating. The techno-legal approach is all about using technology solutions to support, to buttress, the existing regulations. It's about regulation by design, not just by penalty.
So what does that look like in practice?
We're talking about tools like automated machine unlearning or advanced bias mitigation tools built right into the model pipeline, and privacy-enhancing tech that keeps data safe while still allowing analysis.
It's like building the safety checks directly into the AI's operating system instead of just handing out fines after a crash. That gives industry some real clarity.
It does.
Okay, so that's the philosophy. What does the institutional engine look like? Who is actually in the driver's seat for this whole effort?
They've set up a pretty lean, three-tiered governance structure. At the very top, you've got the AI governance group, the AIGG.
Yeah.
Think of it as the strategic brain, a small, permanent group that coordinates policy across all the different ministries, MIADI, Home Affairs, and, crucially, the sectoral regulators.
Ah, so you mean like the RBI for banking and SEBI for the markets?
Exactly. Bringing them in from day one ensures the rules are actually relevant for those specialized vertical AI applications we talked about.
Right, and who supports them?
That's the second tier, the Technology and Policy Expert Committee, or TPEC. These are the advisors, the experts, bringing in knowledge on new tech, new risks, what's happening globally.
And then a third piece.
That's the technical arm. The AI Safety Institute, or AIAI. This is the engine room, really. They guide safe development, handle technical validation, risk assessment, all the deep safety research.
A clear structure is one thing, but AI, I mean, it needs massive infrastructure.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the India AI mission. What are they actually building? The compute, the data?
The commitment to compute is huge. They're making over 38,000 GPUs available, subsidized for startups and researchers. But that's just the public-facing part. There's also a highly secure cluster being built with 3,000 next-gen GPUs. That's specifically for sovereign and strategic applications.
That's a key distinction, isn't it? It's a dual-track strategy. You support the commercial innovation, but you also ensure you have national self-reliance for critical systems.
Exactly right. And that self-reliance also needs data. That's where AI Kosh comes in.
AI, gosh.
It's the national data sharing platform. It's already onboarded something like 1,500 data sets and over 200 AI models. It provides permissioned access to training data.
And are they building their own models too?
They are. They're funding and providing credits to 4 startups in the first phase, specifically to develop India's own foundation models, trained on Indian data.
This shows incredible foresight. They're adopting voluntary measures now, but the sources say this is an agile, multi-stage plan. They're planning to draft new laws later based on emerging risks.
It's a marathon strategy, not a sprint. They want to avoid premature overregulation.
And the end game.
The ultimate goal is to seamlessly integrate all this AI capability with their digital public infrastructure, the DPI.
So the identity and payment systems that already reach 1 billion people.
That's the one. That's the mechanism for making AI affordable and accessible at a massive scale.
Okay, so now we shift gears. We've seen the blueprint. We've seen the investment. How is industry actually adopting it? This is where that NASSCOM index gives us a reality check.
It is a moment of truth, for sure. The aggregate AI adoption maturity score for Indian enterprises is 2.45.
2.45. What does that mean in real terms?
It places India squarely in the enthusiast stage. That's the second of 4 levels. You go from explorer to enthusiast to expert and then evangelist.
Enthusiast sounds like a polite way of saying they're experimenting, but it's not scaled up yet.
That's a very accurate way to put it. And you look at the operational reality. 2/3 of companies, 67%, are spending less than 10% of their IT budget on AI.
That's not a lot.
And nearly half, 47%, are still stuck at the proof of concept level or have very, very limited use cases in production. They see the promise, but they haven't made the big leap.
So what's the anchor holding them back? If the potential is $500 billion, why are they hesitating to scale up?
The number one reason identified is the inability to objectively quantify the benefits of AI.
Ah.
Only 35% of companies consistently track the return on investment, the ROI, for their AI projects. And if you can't show the finance department the dollar value impact, they're just not going to approve the budget to scale up from a prototype.
That's a huge accountability failure. The problem isn't the AI model, it's the metric system.
That, coupled with a lot of legacy IT systems that just aren't built for modern AI, and the real difficulty of moving from a POC to a full production environment.
Let's break that enthusiast score down by sector because the sources show a huge difference in why different industries are adopting AI. This really gets to that vertical AI specialization idea.
Agreed. The highest maturity score actually comes from the industrials and automotive sector. They score at 2.52.
Okay, a bit above average. What are they using it for?
It's very functional. 68% are focused on optimization. The use cases are hyper-specific. Things like quality and visual inspection on the factory floor or predictive maintenance for machines. They see a very tangible ROI in efficiency.
Right. Reducing equipment downtime by 20% is a very clear, measurable benefit. Easy to sell to the CFO.
Exactly. Then you have BFS ISO, banking, financial services, and insurance. They're at 2.42. Their focus is completely different. It's heavily on innovation, cited by 73%.
Innovation in customer service, I'd imagine.
And improving customer service, yep. Their applications are sophisticated risk modeling, transaction monitoring, fraud detection.
So industrials is driven by optimization, BFSI by innovation. But then we get to the lowest score.
And that's healthcare, which is surprising. They come in at 2.35.
Yeah.
Almost half of them, 47%, are still just exploring or in the POC phase.
And their driver.
Primarily cost optimization at 67%. For a sector with so much data and the potential to shift from, curative to preventative care, this is a huge gap. They need a lot of support to cross that chasm.
The cost of failing to scale there isn't just measured in dollars, is it? It's measured in lives.
Absolutely. And here's the one challenge that's common across all of them, no matter their score. They all have to fix their fragmented data. Getting a standardized quality data architecture is the unglamorous works that will make AI happen faster and cheaper for everyone.
Let's turn to the risks now, especially the challenges that are really unique to India's social fabric. We have to start with the most pressing risk globally, the misuse of generative AI.
The sources really highlight this. Gen AI misuse, especially deepfakes, is seen as a significant and immediate threat.
Particularly for vulnerable groups, I'd assume.
Yes, specifically women and children, often involving non-consensual image manipulation.
So if existing laws are the first line of defense, what's the techno-legal solution here?
The focus is squarely on content authentication and provenance. Basically, being able to trace a piece of content, generated or modified, back to its source.
And how do you do that?
By supporting industry standards like C2PA, that's the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity. The recommendation is to set up an expert committee to help develop global standards for this, which could position India as a leader in digital trust.
That handles the immediate technical risks.
Yeah.
But India faces sociocultural challenges that are just different from Western markets. What are the big friction points there?
They're fundamental to the society. First, the linguistic barrier.
The 700 languages.
Exactly. India has over 700 languages, but most NLP systems are built for English. Systems for what they call resource-poor Indian languages just perform badly because there's so little training data compared to Western languages.
And if the AI can't understand you, it immediately excludes you from financial inclusion, government services, everything.
Everything. Second is social bias. AI algorithms could easily reinforce existing discrimination, whether it's based on caste or gender, if they're trained on biased historical data about things like wages or credit access.
So you're basically baking historical inequity right into the future systems.
You are. And unless you aggressively audit that input data for fairness, the AI will just perpetuate inequality at scale.
And the final one is about access, isn't it?
Yes, the exclusion risk. There's a persistent mobile gender gap. Women in South Asia are 38% less likely to own a mobile phone. That means the main delivery system for AI services is already segmented. It could make existing inequalities even worse.
So to summarize this entire deep dive, we have this massive ambition for global AI leadership, that $500 billion economic prize. And it all hinges on bridging this very clear gap.
It's a huge gap.
On one side, you have these robust governance principles, the 7 Sutras, all about trust in people first. And on the other, you have the reality of enterprise implementation, which is, stuck in that enthusiast phase. Lots of buck stocks, not a lot of scaled production.
So what does this all mean? It really reinforces that long-term vision of using the digital public infrastructure, the DPI, to integrate AI. For the Global South, using those existing identity and payment rails is a unique way to deploy AI that's instantly scalable, affordable, and inclusive.
That's the unique pathway.
That push for safe, highly vertical, and inclusive AI is what defined India's path to global leadership.
And it seems like the core challenge, moving past those fragmented POSes and that enthusiast-level spending, isn't really about innovation itself. India clearly has the talent and the ambition for it, especially in these specialized vertical areas.
Right.
Instead, the real challenge might be accountability. Perhaps the next great frontier isn't inventing the next big foundation model, but creating new standardized metrics that can consistently quantify AI's true cross-functional economic value, that rigorous standardized economic accountability. Maybe that's the real backbone needed to force that leap from enthusiast to expert and beyond.